Web forms are one of the most popular goal methods. Remember, you can achieve a goal by any number of actions. One of them is when a contact submits a web form. The way you can tell what your goal is looking for is the little colored badge. The purple one indicates that this goal is a web form. Go ahead and double-click it. Let's take a look at what configuring a web form looks like. Once you open your web form, it defaults to the Design tab. That's where you control what fields or information you're capturing, as well as the look and feel of your web form. If you click on Field Snippets, you can add additional fields to decide what information is important to you. Let's go ahead and add first name, for example. That way, when I email my prospects, I can call them by their name. If you've captured the information you want and set up the design and the look and feel you're going for, you'll switch to the Thank You page tab. The Thank You page is what the contact will see after they've clicked your button to submit their information. It could be a thank you page that you've built in Infusionsoft, a page that we host and says, "Hey, thanks for signing up for my newsletter." Or, if you prefer, you could drive them to an external page, something on your own website if you're more comfortable with that. We do recommend, if you use our thank you page, giving them a link somewhere so they're not stranded on that page, such as back to your website. Once you've configured your thank you page, switch over to the Settings tab. The Settings tab has a couple of options for you. If you check this top box, it'll indicate that the form should pre-populate if somebody visits it from an Infusionsoft delivered email. This can be especially useful if you're emailing people who are already on your list and you want to capture new or supplemental information about them, or register them for an event, something like that. Below that, you've got duplicate setting options. The duplicate setting options control how this form checks for duplicates, such as a person's email address. An email address is pretty close to a unique identifier, so if they fill out this form and use an email address that Infusionsoft already recognizes, it's going to assume that this is the same person and simply update their contact record. You also have the ability to set up a notification email to notify yourself or someone else each time this form is submitted. We recommend changing the subject line, so if you have a bunch of these, you know exactly which web form was filled out. Now, I should caution you, if you find yourself getting hundreds of submissions a day on any of your web forms, you might want to deactivate this notification. It could get a little redundant receiving all those emails. The last tab is the Code tab. Once you've published your web form, this code will be updated and it's ready for you to install it in your website. You've got a couple of options here: the JavaScript code, the HTML code, or the unstyled HTML code. Depending on your comfort with any of these codes, you'll take it to your content management system or wherever you host your website, and you'll embed the appropriate code in the right area, and that's where the form will show up. If that's beyond your comfort level and you don't want to deal with the code, what you can do is enter your webmaster's email address and send it directly to them and ask them to install it. You do also have the option of using the hosted version. That means Infusionsoft is creating a version of this web form hosted on our servers that you can drive traffic to, and it'll capture contacts back into your application. The last option is sharing it with your network. It'll give you that same URL and allow you to post it out to accounts you may have linked to your Infusionsoft application. Once we're back on the campaign canvas, you'll note that the goal has changed color. It's no longer that strong dark green. It's back into ready mode, indicating that it needs to be published again for our changes to take effect. It's important that we point this out because the code that you saw on that Code tab doesn't update to reflect your changes until you have republished the campaign. So if you're building and then you go ahead and grab the code and you install it, you may note that it doesn't reflect your changes. Go ahead and publish your campaign and then try that process again.